in the sky guides the direction in the sea, India in earth guides the direction to the world towards peace and harmony. We say Atithi Devo Bhava, that means we treat our guests as God. Then definitely we treat our neighbors as saints, sadhus as we say. But what do we do, or what should we do when these saints try to do the devil's work? Greetings to anyone watching this video. My name is Karan Pareek, representing GHRC Nagpur, speaking on the topic of increasing hostility in India's neighborhood and solutions. Now when I look at this particular topic, I see three major aspects to it. Number one, that is India's neighborhood. Number two, that is the increasing hostility. And number three, the solutions when implemented can bring this hostility into hospitality and friendship. Now India has a land frontier of 15,200 kilometers. The country shares her border with 9 countries. But in the history of 5,000 years, we have never invaded any other country for our personal gains. We have always come forward to help the neighbors and the world in the time of crisis. And the world has witnessed that we have never asked for anything in return. Which reminds me of the first aspect, that is India's neighborhood. Be it the earthquake in Nepal, be it the famine in Bhutan, be it the refugee crisis of Syria, Siberia, the protection to the persecuted minorities, even Dalai Lama, the medical aid to Maldives, and the formation of a free democratic nation, Bangladesh. By believing in the concept of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, Mother India has always come forward to complete her duties as a responsible neighbor and as a responsible member of this world as a family. This shows our approach towards our neighbor and the world, that we have never been the sole cause of any conflict and any problem. But as they say that the bad comes to the good, which reminds me of the second aspect, that is the increasing hostility. What do I mean by hostility? It is nothing but the conflict of ideas which can lead to war. And when I see of war, India and hostility, there are only 2 participants in this race fighting for that spot. None other than Pakistan and China. More than 7 decades we have spent in fighting towards one treaty or one thing that can bring us peace without a single drop of bloodshed. But we have never been successful. The cause of this increasing hostility is nothing but agyanata, that is the lack of knowledge and hunger for power, which led to the border dispute of Sichin for China, Jammu and Kashmir for Pakistan. There are few similarities between these 2 countries, that these 2 countries are friends with each other and enemies with the world and India. One is a producer of terror all over the world and the other is producing bioterror and cyber terror. These 2 countries are now the main cause of the increasing hostility not only in India but also increasing disharmony and harming the peace all over the world. These are the factors which are also fueling the increasing hostility in our nation. Now what are the effects? The war of 1999, Indo-Pakistan war of 1971, the Indo-China war of 1962 and numerous surgical strikes which have resulted into the tremendous loss of human life and property, harming our economy, harming our peace, compromising our integrity and sovereignty and security of the nation, involving the entire world in this conflict, which can also lead to world war. It has also fed many terror in our country, resulting to which India is still a country fighting to the terror. Now if I speak of the solutions, we don't have to go for the painkillers, we have to go for the permanent solutions, such as a dialogue going through United Nations, a parliamentary act to hijack the property of the enemy during any war, an investment treaty which will allow the investigation, a cyber security which will protect us against all the digital harms, 370, the inclusion of POK, CAA and banning the Chinese app are some solutions which are already being implemented. If I talk about the present situation, we as the world have to fight Corona, but our soldiers are fighting on LAC and on LOC, both at the very simultaneous time. We come from a land of Gandhi and Buddha who preach and who teach peace. But we also come from the land of Bhagat Singh and Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, who are ready to fight for the motherland and die in the battlefield. By saying this so, India is a country always preaching for peace and harmony, but when it comes to the sovereignty and integrity, we will always fight to the end. By doing so, I say Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.